Hey, the Geeks are in the studio, and we got some interesting topics today. First, it's Facebook and politics. They've made some changes.
Right. I mean, certainly they're still in the headlines for the use of their platform, Twitter, as well, making a change today. Let's start with Facebook. They have new verification requirements to run a political ad. You have to, in fact, provide your social security number, your location, and verify that before you can run an ad. But on the other side, they're putting paid for labels. So you, as the person who sees the ad, can not only see who paid for that ad, but you can even get more data. You can see who it was targeted at, how many people saw it, how much they paid for it. So they're adding these levels of transparency. They're making the overall data of campaign ads available to researchers, and it's not just for specific candidates. They're even flagging specific issues like guns or immigration or abortion rights. So all of these sensitive topics you can track.
So maybe with the social security number, for instance, eliminating outside
Yes, less likely you're a Russian, but there are already stories of real U.S. candidates being sort of stuck by some of these requirements.
Having a difficult time placing a legitimate ad.
Right.
Yeah.
On the Twitter side, they're basically just adding a new label for people. It's announced and going live today for the U.S. midterm elections. There's going to be a little government building icon, like the verified icon, saying that this is an actual candidate, and also, again, giving you more information on who that person is, what state they're in, and what office they're running for.
Hey, Bert, this topic freaked us out. I mean, when we heard that Alexa was listening to us and then perhaps sending those conversations to other people, you can tell us now how we can make sure that's not happening, right?
Well, yeah, so the scare really was that unbeknownst to one of these users, that the wake word from Echo was actually recording your conversation and was able to somehow, through some string of words, send it to a contact on your contact list.
Right.
So Amazon has tried to make it a little bit more difficult for that particular occurrence to happen.
Right.
But what you can do is you can actually go to your Echo app. You go to it on your smartphone. There's a little hamburger menu.
Yeah.
You click on that.
That's the 3 lines.
That's the 3 lines.
Okay.
You go to settings, and in settings, there's history. So in history, you can actually look at all the things that you have done to Alexa. So in my case, most of the time, I just tell Alexa to stop because I'm playing like a tune-in, a radio station or something. But it does, unbeknownst to me, sometimes I'm talking on my cell phone.
And it records you?
And it records you. Now, the recording wasn't really that clear, but the fact that it did record me is concerning.
So you can go listen to what's been recorded.
Yes, and you can delete it.
Delete all that stuff. And can you also tell it not to record or not to message, or is it
no, the wake word is always gonna trigger the action. So I mean, that's the whole function of the Echo, right? So what you can do is you can either delete the actual message or you can delete the entire history.
Oh, everything off there.
Another suggestion would be to turn off the messaging features that come in Alexa if you use them, because certainly if you're all talking about your friend Bob, it might send it to Bob if it knows who Bob is, so you can just turn that off.
All right, okay, one more topic, we're running out of time, but GDPR is really, it's happening in the European Union, but we're seeing some impacts from that, and this is a privacy change in the way that social media can operate in Europe, right?
Or actually all media, media. So it is a EU law, and it's affecting people in the US because if you run a website in the US, you could be visited by people in the EU. It gives them the right to all of the information they've collected, and can even ask you to delete it. Even at the company where I work for, we are working on the implications of this. Now, fascinatingly, because of this law, some US websites had to block access from the EU, and they had to take all of the tracking off their sites, which made their sites faster. So the only thing to keep in mind at this point is that this is an EU law, but they're looking at it in the UK, and obviously something like this is going to be coming to the US
at some point. Okay, out of time, but we got to mention what's on the radio tonight.
We're going to be talking to Elemental Accelerator. They actually commissioned a report called Transcending Oil, and we're going to find out what does that actually mean, and what do we as residents can do to transcend oil.
Okay, 6:30.
HBR1.
HBR1. All right, tune in. And thanks, guys, as always. A pleasure to have you in the studio. Sunrise will continue in just a moment. But first, they dance.